What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Weekly Dose of Dano TV with your host, Dano here. And man, we are going to bring you such a fire episode today with TJ Young. TJ, what do you have to say to everybody before we even get started for today?
How's it going, beautiful people? Hope you're having a wonderful day. I'm happy to be here.
Oh, yeah. Sweet, short, and to the point. That's what I'm talking about. I hope you guys, do whatever you got to do. Like, share, do whatever it is that you got to do to raise your vibrations, because we are going to bring you all of the great content that you are anticipating every week here on the Weekly Dose of Dano platform. And here we go. We're just going to play a few commercials and we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere and share this episode. Enjoy it. Let's go.
Hi, everyone. Jeanette Ramos here, CEO and President of It Takes a Village Housing. It Takes a Village Housing is a nonprofit organization that houses women who have been affected by drug and alcohol use while having their children live in transitional housing. Services to include drug treatment, mentoring, counseling for the kids, parenting. We set them up with employment. We help them get everything that they need to get them out into the community. Go to our website, ittakesavillage1.org, and donate. Donate whatever your heart desires, and let's change families one at a time.
Please just pause the show for a second and come give me that weekly dose.
What the heck? Did you guys hear that? What was that all about? No, I'm just messing with you guys. That was me. I actually got a new setup for you guys. I got a new system right here. I'm so excited to come on and to really, up the quality for you guys a little bit. So that was me all along. But there's so many different things that I got with this MIDI keyboard, and I'm just so excited to do.
So I can do a female voice like this.
I can do a male voice with a deep voice.
I can do a baby one.
So many different things that we can do. We also have a soundboard here as well. There we go. So everybody, welcome to another episode of Weekly Dose of Dano TV. I'm super excited to be here with you guys. You already know there's nowhere else in the world that I would rather be right here than with you guys, with my positivity posse. And just to let you guys know, if you're watching this right now live or on the replay, drop a hashtag positivity posse. So I know you guys are rocking with the content, and I know that you guys are there and you're contributing and you're throwing the good energy into the world that we all need now more than ever. I want to touch on a quick topic as well, is that this month is this month is Suicide Prevention Month. And this is a very important topic because there's been so many guests that have come on the Weekly Dose of Dano platform where they talk about, some of the things that they had to endure. And, suicide is a big, a common theme that a lot of people face on a day-to-day basis. And, I'm not going to name any names, but I've had a few people come up to me and say, Dano, some of the stuff that your guests have talked about or some of the stuff that I've talked about personally has taken them away from taking those steps or going down a dark path. And I'm super honored and grateful to be able to do that. But seriously, if you guys needed any outlets, there are hotline prevention numbers that you can call. You could always reach out to me, the Weekly Dose of Dano platform, and we can talk about it. And I can get you into connection with somebody who maybe has experienced the same thing, just to avoid that catastrophic, that's a really big step that we want to avoid altogether. So please, if you're just reach out to somebody, you're not alone. And whatever it is that you're going on or going through in this world, you are not alone. And I just wanted to say that to you guys as well. So yeah, now that that's covered, you already know what we got to do for today before we bring TJ on. And TJ doesn't even know some of the curveballs that I got lined up and in store for him today. And I see him laughing back there because he's gonna be ready for it. So here we go. We're gonna bring the positive affirmations for today. You already know how this one works. We just open up to a random page in the book, and I put air quotes around random because it never truly is random. Like, yeah, I do open up the book, but it always helps whoever's watching at this point in time. And if it's for me, I'll take it. If it's for TJ, he'll take it. And if it's for you, that's a part of the Positivity Posse watching right now. I'm just so honored and grateful that we can be, having this moment together and, giving you that positive affirmation and reinforcement to understand that happiness is possible to attain and achieve every day. So here we go. Let's open up to a random page. All right. All right, we're going to go with number 52 for today. So number 52, it says, inspiration for bliss is all around me. And I'm going to say that one more time. Number 52, inspiration for bliss is all around me. And I really like this one for today because I firmly believe that the signs are always given to us for whatever it is that we're questioning or that we need the answers for. If we have if we're having money issues and we're like, damn, where am I going to find my next source of income, or how can I add to my income? The signs, whether it's people, whether it's opportunities, whether it's messages, it can be literally anything. Always be open to receiving those signs because inspiration is all around us. And especially, you might hear, it's perfect for today. You might hear a song lyric that's like, wow, that's literally hit me right in my core because that's been something that I've been asking for. And, to hear it in the form of a song lyric, I've resonated with that because that I can't tell you how many times that music has been, able to help me and save me. And that's going to be a big topic for today. And we have TJ. He's an absolutely amazing musician who's performed all around the world. And I can't wait to hear about his story and his passions as well. So, but before we bring on TJ, we got to do one more thing. We're going to post the weekly segment for today. Because this is what the people really go crazy for, my Positivity Posse. Thank you so much again for supporting. Please remember to leave your positive energy, your comments, your questions, anything that you can do in order to contribute to the show and share it as well. I don't know if I already said that, but I'm gonna say it again. Why not? So we're gonna pick a random one for today. And actually, this is the one that I posted on TikTok. So we're going to post this one for today. Let me know your answers at the end of the segment. And TJ, you're going to come on and let me know your answer to this one as well. So here are the weekly segments, the On the Street segments. And let me know what you guys think. Don't forget to leave your answers after this. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Dano, television show host of Weekly Dose of Dano TV. And you already know what we're doing for today. We're going around the streets of Philly, asking everybody the questions that you need the answers to. Let's get it. What's your name is?
Mercedes.
For the people watching right now, can you give them 3 habits, tips, or anything that you might say to live a happy life?
Yeah, for me, I like to do yoga or stretch every morning. I also love coffee, so I make my own cold brew every night. And I drink coffee every day. And then the third thing is I talk to at least one person that makes me happy and does not stress me out every day.
I see, you got it right over here. Makes sense. What's your name is?
I'm Meg.
Meg, for the people watching, can you tell them 3 different things, lifestyles, habits, or anything in order to help them live a happier life?
Yeah, you should smoke weed, and you should get a cat, and you should sit on the couch and hold the cat, and it'll make you the happiest person in the world. But I do have to agree, talking to one person that makes you smile or makes you laugh definitely improves your life.
Evan, I'm Dano. It's nice to meet you. For the people watching right now, would you be able to give them like 3 pieces of advice or like habits that they can do in order to live a happier life?
I would probably just say, at least from my own personal experience, go with the flow. Just enjoy yourself. Don't stress over too much. I know life's a little crazy. Grind, make your money, respect people, love people, network, have people around you. And I guess the last thing is just find whatever makes you happy. Don't accommodate to people. That's all.
That's all. That was like 8 things, Evan.
Sorry.
No, I'm just kidding. I love all the information. Thank you so much. What's your name, miss?
My name is Audrey.
For the people that are watching right now, would you be able to give them 3 pieces of advice in order to live a happier life?
3 pieces of advice that I would have are just to always live your life with gratitude. You know, I've always been told by my mother that the more things in your life that you wake up grateful for every day, the more sources of gratitude you find. The more gratitude you express, the more gratitude you feel, and I think that's just always a sure way to feel happy in what you do. And I think to always have something in life that you're passionate about and are always pursuing, to have that passion, whether it's a hobby, whether it's what you do for your job, I think absolutely that's important as well. Always have something you're dreaming about. You know, I'm fully the one who's like, romanticize your life, you know, have those delusions, have these things that you dream and hope for and are always thinking about and working towards. Absolutely, there's nothing wrong with a life led with a little bit of romanticization.
So everybody, that was the On the Street segment for this week. Let me know what your answers are. Thank you, David, for dropping a hashtag positivity posse. Hello to you, Jeanette, as well. Thank you guys for being here live on the show. And man, it is time to bring TJ Young onto the show. This is about to be a fire show. So I'm just giving you guys a heads up right now. If your phones start heating up and you see it start smoking, I'm just giving you a warning right now because this is about to be so heat. And thank you, TJ, for coming on. And I'm gonna ask. That's gonna be my first question that I'm gonna ask you, but no more freebies after that. So when you come on, just share some. Man, let's bring TJ on the show, man. Let's stop playing. TJ, how's it going, man?
So good. How are you, sir?
Doing absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for being here today and sharing an hour of your time and your story as well to help everybody that may be going through the same thing. So we're going to jump right into it just because we don't have the full hour, but
yeah,
let's get right into it. Do you have any tips or advice to anybody to, help them live a happier life?
Man, I really like some of the advice in the role you played before it. I think doing what you love, I think I'm a testament to that. I wake up every day and I play music, and that's all I do. I play piano, I play guitar, I sing all day, and I love it. That's I've found somehow I made that my life, my livelihood, and I couldn't be happier. I'm very blessed, very thankful to be able to do what I do.
Awesome, absolutely amazing. And you said somehow that you're able to turn it into your life. No, you took the time and the passion and the effort in order to make this something that you love to do, and you're able to do it every day, which is absolutely amazing. Now, TJ, let's talk a little bit about your story.
Sure.
Let's take it back to the very beginning, or maybe when you got your first actual big gig, or whichever you want to start with. But
yeah, sure.
When did you know that music was your calling or your passion?
So I was on American Idol season 13. I think I was maybe 19 years old at the time. And that was my first, actually getting kicked off of American Idol was the experience that really let me know that this was something that I wanted to do. I made it all the way up to the celebrity judges. They showed my face on TV for a second. It was really cool. But the judges, they had told me, they were like, you know what, you're just not kind of what we're looking for. At the time I had done a lot of musicals in school and stuff, and they were like, why don't you stick with that? And I thought, I don't want to stick with that. I want to be a musician. I want to be a songwriter. I want to perform shows in front of people. And so that was what I started doing. I went home and I went to every open mic I could find in the Philly area, South Jersey area, and just for years, at any stage you could put me on, I was there. And the rest is almost, I guess, history. I just played night after night. Eventually people would see me at one of these stages and they say, hey, I own this restaurant. Why don't you come out and, play for here? And eventually I wound up working for this wedding band company. And it's funny. I've almost taken each stage of my career. There's been different skills that I wanted to learn to kind of put me in a position where I could succeed. And I think that the very first position, taking it all the way back to the beginning, was just to be able to get over the fear of putting myself in front of stages. And I found that I had no idea. I had no connections. I had no knowledge of how to be a professional musician. I just knew that it was something that I wanted to do. And I figured open mics were a really great place to start. When I would go to these open mics and I would sing, and it would be great, but everyone else had guitars and I would notice what other people were doing. And so I started, bringing a keyboard, and I picked up the guitar. I wasn't that great at it in the beginning, but then I picked up a piano, and that just really resonated with me. So, as I was doing weddings at the time, I had been doing weddings to help pay for school so I could get a degree in audio engineering, so I could learn how to produce my own songs as well. It's quite the story. I could just keep going if you want, but I feel you might want to reel me in at some point.
No, and we're coming on here. We're talking just to hear about your experience, because maybe there's somebody that's watching this right now that might be going through the same thing, and just to hear about your story. That's where the gold is, in my opinion, and that's when people can really start to learn. So if you have something to say, this is our time right now. And if we have any questions by the Positivity Posse, they're gonna ask it as well. So Denise says here, the key to happiness is doing for others is also in the Bible. And, I think that's a big portion of what you do as well. You don't do it just because you like to do it, but the reactions that you get from other people. Now, I want to talk about this idea of what you said in the very beginning. It wasn't always that way. Can you talk about how many no's you had to go through and how many rejections you had to get and endure in order to get that first yes?
Oh, man. Well, I pretty much, there was nothing but no's. I've at this point performed 1,500 to 2,000 shows. Sprinkled in there were a lot. I remember one night I had done a show. I'd booked it at this place in Philly, and the venue owner saw that I didn't like that I didn't bring enough people out, so he decided he wasn't going to pay me after 3 hours of a performance. He's like, "Well, you're not getting paid tonight." So I had to just pack up and leave, and I come to find a parking ticket waiting at my van. So I'd lost money to perform that gig. And, in moments like that, when you just really get kicked in the teeth, that's when it's most important, I think, to keep going. It's really important you're going to hear no from all different types of people, but I think that you can't really compare yourself to what other people think. You can only compare yourself to what you think and where you were and the progress that you've made. And I think that, hearing no from other people only inspires me to keep going, because it gets me closer to a yes. 100 no's and a yes is still a yes. And sometimes you have to hear 100 no's, and it's easy to say that, and it's much harder to go through with it when you've had 36 no's in a row, and you're like, what the But even when you book gigs, a lot of it is you just have to keep calling, and you keep walking into restaurants and walking into venues and pitching your services and what you do, and some people take you up on it and some people don't. And I just really briefly wanted to touch on something that Kathy had said, where the key to happiness is doing for others. And I found that very much, or Denise, I'm so sorry. Denise, that was one of the things that the most recent, I've noticed that, and I really try to incorporate in my show. So for years, I'd been playing songs that I thought that I wanted to hear. Maybe I thought other people wanted to hear. But now I just ask people throughout the entire set I'm performing, hey, can I play anybody a song? What can I play for you? This performance isn't about me, it's about you. And you could have chosen to be anywhere in the world, and instead you chose to sit here and listen to me play music and spend some time just enjoying each other's company for the night. So that's kind of how I really, in the past few months, I've really tried to make my music about others,
I
and
love
that's
that.
where I've found the most happiness and the most success, even with my shows.
I
So,
love that. And I forget where the quote, I think it might have been Zig Ziglar. Somebody said it, but they said that the quickest way in order to get what you want is to help everybody else get what they want. And that's kind of what this main premise here on the Weekly Dose of Dano platform is. I was actually with a friend the other day, and we were at the bar, and we started talking, and he was actually on the show as well. His name's Vaughn. So Vaughn says, "Yo, you know something? I want to let you know this." I said, "Lay it on me. What's going on?" So he goes, "The reason why I really love your show is because it's not about you, and it's not necessarily about the guests, but it's about everybody coming together and learning the lessons in order to help them elevate and get through whatever it is that they're going through in their life." And that's kind of the same thing that the main premise that we talk about here. It's not just to say, "Hey, look, we're on TV right now." No, that's not the point. It's to help people going on with whatever they may be going through right now. And TJ, you just briefly touched on the point where you said, "Okay, well, I've been getting all these no's, but you got to keep going." And I want to talk about that a little bit. And it might be a loaded question.
no,
but
sure, hit me with it.
what is your why? Why is it that you keep going to do to constantly reach out to other people and constantly go and spread your message out there? What is the reason that you do, or why you do what you do?
Um, Man, it's funny. It's Dan the man. It's almost this indescribable feeling to just keep going. I think it's when I was younger, I first I think I really came into myself on stage. Like I said, I got my start doing musical theater, and I think that being in front of people, singing and sharing my voice, I think that's when I'm in that moment is when I am the happiest. So it's almost this. I almost can't see myself doing anything else. It's almost as simple as that. Like it's just what I do, and whether or not there's people there to enjoy it or not, that's fine. I'll just keep looking until I find someone else to. Why? Maybe it's because I'm crazy. Maybe it's because it just makes me happy. I don't know, but I love doing it. I love what I do.
Yeah, and I want to. It's the same thing too. It's very interesting that you just said, "Oh, it doesn't matter if there's anybody out there, if there's everybody out there." Number one, I firmly believe that if you can attract one person, you can attract 10. If you can attract 10, you can do 100. If you do 100, and you can do 1,000,000. So all it takes is that one person. And I know that you've performed all over the world, and you have seen that crowd grow and grow and grow. And when you start to focus on the things that are going right, and you start to focus on the positive momentum that you're receiving, you are just going to create and garner more and more of that. And there's one thing that I wanted to say as well, before we move on to the next topic, is this booing sound, this is for that guy that didn't pay you, man. Boo! Yeah, get him out of here. Get him out of here. But
I'll
that
give you
was
the
one
name
of
of the bar. I'll name and shame too.
Go ahead. What's the name of it?
Head House in Philadelphia. Don't go
Man,
there.
get them out of here, man.
Get them out of here. Don't need it.
Especially if they're going to treat you like that. But let's talk. We're going to spin it now, and we talked about the beginning. Now we're going to talk about something that happened pretty recently to you, and I want you to just explain how this all came about and what your feelings were, and just talk a little bit about this picture that you're about to see right here on the screen. Talk a little bit about what's going on in here.
So that was I believe that was the Philadelphia Weekly Magazine. That was that was right when COVID first happened. That was you could see I'm starting to grow out the quarantine hair. I'm starting to grow out the beard. And so that was funny. That was right when I had started putting out some music that you can currently listen to on Spotify. I was doing some promo for it, and I was trying to think of ways to get published and get into papers and stuff. And at the time I was working with this really brilliant woman who helped me get everything in charge. So it's funny. Have you ever seen the TV show Nathan For You? It's a bit of a tangent, but it's this guy. You could essentially just reach out to people in the news industry, and if you have a well-written article put out, they will almost publish it for you if you can find a way to do their job for them. And in a sense, I was trying to do promo for this album. I knew I had a story with all of the bars shutting down with COVID that in these times of live music shutting down, through being a studio owner, like you can see behind me, I was able to continue to make a living and continue to make music during this time and share it online. And that story, once I had reached out to a few different publishing agencies, a few different, the Washington Post, a few different places, but Philadelphia Weekly was one that picked it up, and there was another one, a local Collingswood newspaper, that picked it up as well, The Prospect. It was a very similar story. But and that's one of those things that really just goes to show that you don't need to have any connections. You don't need to have, any big budget. It really just comes down to dedication, just having the confidence to knock on the door and say, hey, I'm here doing this thing. What do you think? And you might be surprised at how far the story goes, because I wasn't expecting to get the center spread especially when I had confirmed the story with the author and the publisher. But oh man, that was a really crazy experience. I remember driving into the city and picking up a stack, and I still have them in the other room, actually.
Yeah, I love that. And you could just tell with the excitement and the joy on your face, you're kind of reliving these experiences. And I feel like that's another thing that people really don't focus on too, is they kind of focus on what can go wrong versus what can go right. And,
Sure.
like you said, this is only the beginning of your story, and that was just a small portion of it. But now I think when you see that as well, it's kind of the same thing, the same experience that I feel when I received this too. I have a plaque right here that was given to me. It says, associate producer for the E360 television network, and how, I'm the show host for my own show. And
That's awesome.
I feel like, thank you, but
congratulations.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. But, when you see it in a tangible form, and, when you go to perform, everything is through over the airwaves. But there's just something about that feeling when you see it and other people are reading it, that you're just going to take it forward and forward and forward. Now, one more thing before we talk about, just to give you guys, now we're going to save that. Before we get to that break, talk to me about, the music industry is super, super competitive. Can you talk about some of the things that you tell yourself, going on a day-to-day basis, that you ignore all of the noise and that you really hone in on your skills, and it doesn't matter how many people are out there doing what you're doing, that when you perform, there's nothing else like it. Can you talk about how you cut through all that noise?
Yeah, absolutely. And I will say that it's very hard nowadays to be a musician, because it's never been more accessible for anybody to be a musician. The tools to make music are just getting cheaper and cheaper. Especially as artificial intelligence, it can make music for you, and you can just sing over it. The microphones are getting cheaper, the laptops are getting more powerful. So there's always going to be someone else out there. But something that I like to keep in mind, it's from a guy called Steve Pressfield. He has a book called The War of Art, and he talks about there's only one you. There's only one you that will ever exist in all of time. And it is almost your duty, your passion in this life to pursue your calling. Whatever you have this innate feeling when you close your eyes and when you go to sleep at night, of what it is that you're meant to do, or what it is that you wish you could be doing. And the way that Steve Pressfield puts it is that you have to do it every day, almost like a hunter going out to catch his rabbit. You have to go out and pursue your thing, and only then can you feel satisfied. And I think that really resonates with me, because some of the only time I actually can feel relaxed and rested is when I've created music that day, when I've worked and I've gotten whatever it is out of my fingertips onto the piano. I guess that's kind of what helps me keep going. And also the fact that, like I said, it's never been a better time to independently be a musician. You can own the equipment yourself. There's no gatekeepers telling you that you can't write this or post that. If you have a laptop and a microphone, you can download a beat off of YouTube and have a #1 song on, in the entire world. And it can happen, before you even know it. I like to say, what if it turns out better than you could ever imagine?
A lot of people don't think about that. So thank you for dropping that perspective in there. And I want to add one more thing too, which is super, super important, I guess, to the music industry, SoundCloud. You can just create a free account, and then you can just upload your music on there. And there's so many different ways that you can go about it. Like even nowadays with TikTok, how many songs have blown up?
I would argue that it's the only way that music blows up anymore. It's the way that people discover music. It's one of the only metrics that record labels actually care about is your following on TikTok. So yeah, and that's what I'm saying. That's a free app that you can, download. And, if you post the same video 7 times, one of them could get 1 million views for free. There's very few platforms that allow you to get that kind of reach, that kind of engagement for virtually nothing. It's remarkable. And even if it's funny, there's an article by Vox that talks about there's a decent amount of new touring artists, like Billboard top 10 artists, and the majority of them are from TikTok. They got their start from TikTok, and they posted, and that's just the metric by which artists find success now. It's crazy.
Yeah, and there's so many other things too that go on in the background. I don't know if it was I think the video that I saw was by Vice, and they talk about music farming, how a lot of these people that are getting these plays, like they'll have 1,000 like iPhones set up, and they'll just constantly keep playing that same song over and over. The question about the authenticity and how everything's getting started, you got to learn how to play the game, and you got to learn what other people are doing. Like you said, when you're watching other people perform with their voice and a guitar, that's just adding to your value. So make sure, take advantage of this social media stuff, man. Whether you're in a pizza shop or whatever your business is, you can always really gain a lot from social media. So now TJ is actually going to perform for us. So you're still down to do that?
Yeah, let me see. Let me make sure you can hear my piano real quick. Can you hear that?
Perfect. So instead of doing the halftime break that we usually do, TJ is going to perform for us today. Can you tell us a little bit about what you're going to be playing?
Yeah, so this is an original song. You guys, let me see if I can even adjust the camera a little bit. Can y'all see the piano? I'm a little down, but that's all right. So this song, I actually wrote this one. I was out in Los Angeles when I wrote it. I met this guy at a Super Bowl party, and then the next day I'm in his studio writing and recording the song. We made the beat in an hour, wrote the song. He came and picked me up the next day because he had sessions cancel, and he was like, let's finish this. So I'm up till 5 a.m. recording vocals, and so I'd actually gone through a breakup at the time, and this song was kind of about that. So it was. I'll share it with you now. It's called Hurts Don't It. It's currently unreleased, so this is actually a sneak preview. This is a Good Vibes Only exclusive.
I love it. Weekly Dose of Dano exclusive. That's what I'm talking about. TJ, take it away, brother.
Thank you, sir. Said it's over, but you hit me up like all the time. I've heard it before, and it's the same line. I've had enough, it's getting tough to hold my tongue and be polite. You don't get to know what I'm up to, but sleeping over and how they compare to you. Go and tell my best friend what you really think. Should have known when I seen you two in sync. Hurts, don't it, when you see an old flame? It hurts, don't it, happy with a new fling? It hurts, don't it, and happy with a new man? Hurts, don't it, it hurts, don't it? Baby girl, you left me at a loss for words. After 7 years and we're still having furs. You switched it up on me, now I can really see your true colors. My ex-lover called me enemy. You read my messages, act so damn desperate. You're on the internet, texting what you regret. Look at yourself upset, go get yourself respect. Maybe one day I'll forgive, I will not forget. Said it's over, but you whip me up like all the time. I've heard it before, and it's the same line. I've had enough, it's getting tough to hold my tongue and be polite. And you don't get to know what I'm up to, but sleeping over in how they compare to you. Go and tell my best friend what you really think. Should have known when I seen you two in sync. It hurts, don't it? Happy with a new fling. It hurts, don't it? And happy with a new man. Hurts, don't it? Oh, it hurts, don't it? It hurts, don't it? And how could you do something so outlandish? I gave you love so organic. The fuck do you mean? Can we fix this? And Bitch, do I look like a mechanic? I said don't call, don't text, cause only handle flex, cause I be writing checks, and I know God gon' handle that. I'm good, you can't dismantle that. I'm good, why can't y'all handle that? Be mad that you don't matter, be mad my new girl batter. My new one batter.
Hey,
Be mad my new girl batter.
hey.
Like this now. You said it's over, but you hit me up like all the time. I've heard it before, and it's the same line. I've had enough, it's getting tough to hold my tongue and be polite. You don't get to know what I'm up to. Who's sleeping over and how they compare to you. Go and tell my best friend what you really think. Should have known when I seen you two in sync. It hurts, don't it, when you see a new fling. It hurts, don't it, happy with a new man. Hurts, don't it, oh, it hurts, don't it. It hurts, don't it, hurts, don't it, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what let me do this one instead. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
Thank you.
Great stuff, man.
You're
I
the
was following
man.
throughout the whole time. I mean, wow, that is a very impactful song, especially when you know the background to it and just the vocals, and even when you were doing the special extra animation on the piano, man. That is an amazing song. Any idea where it can release? And that was just the acoustic version, right?
That was just the acoustic version. There's a whole instrumental track, stacked vocals. There's actually a featured artist. That second verse was written by, his name is Quazel out in Los Angeles. So I'm actually going to be going out there in October to finish that song, and it should be out not too long afterwards. So you can expect that definitely by the end of October.
Awesome. Absolutely amazing stuff. You already know when it drops, I'm going to be streaming it. I'm going to be sharing it. Thank you so much for giving us that sneak preview on the Weekly Dose of Dano platform. And man, I got to give you one of these again, man. That was absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. So now, TJ, I know we brought it back and then we brought it to the present, but now we're going to bring it back one more time.
Okay.
And I want you to talk about, we're going to play the video first. And I kind of want you to talk about how you've grown as an artist from this video to what you just performed for us right now. So I know you're going to be laughing, and a lot of people don't want to see this. Oh, no is right. Oh, no is right. You already know what's about to happen. So we're going to play like a minute and a half of this. And just, like I said, talk about your growth from when you first put this out to what you just performed for us today. So here we go. Let me know if you can hear this as well. Give me a thumbs up.
Oh, my. Wow.
Hello, my name is TJ Young. I'm here to perform.
I don't want clever. Wow. Conversation. I never want to work that hard. Nuh-uh. For all I worship and adore. Oh man. In other words, look at the tie, untucked shirt. Please be true.
I told you we're gonna be throwing it back.
Oh man.
The curveballs, I wasn't lying.
You dug deep. Notice the first song I'm playing piano on. This one.
This guy,
you don't know how lovely you are. Nobody said it was easy. Oh, it's such a shame for us to part. Is it too late now to say sorry? 'Cause I'm missing more than just your body. Oh, is it too late now to say sorry? Because I know.
This looks like a completely different person.
It's crazy. When I think about where I was, wow. So it's so funny. That was recorded in my college dorm. That cover of Justin Bieber's Sorry, that was, I think, the first song I ever produced myself. The hair. Yeah, right. I grew the hair. That's crazy. Yeah, no, and even I could barely play piano at the time. I don't know if you could see it in my hands, but at the time I wanted to be a piano player. I wanted to be a singer. So I set up that video. I recorded a demo. That was for when I was first trying to get gigs. Oh my goodness. I was trying to get shows And when I say gigs, I mean literally anywhere that will pay me money to sing. You know, I would I'd play at wineries, I'd play at restaurants, nursing homes. I've since moved. I've started doing weddings, corporate events. I do I do the conventions. I've done all different kinds of stuff. Casinos, and it's just. But in the beginning, when you're starting out like that, I just needed something to kind of show my range that I could, send to these places when I'm first sending emails. Like when I'm cold calling places and they ask, "Well, do you have anything that we could check out?" Like I said, I heard a lot of no's because there were days where I was just calling venues and hearing, "Oh, they're not here. You have to call back next week, or call back next week, or send an email," and if it gets lost in the inbox at that point. So you really just hear no all the time when you do stuff like this. But I don't know. It's crazy even to think about, because that last song, like I said, that Sorry, Justin Bieber, that was the first time I'd ever produced a song on a computer. And then cut to the song that I just played for you now. I produced it out in Los Angeles, out where I met this complete stranger at a party, and we vibed so much that I was in his studio the next day, and I was recording on super top tier stuff in Los Angeles. It's just funny that the difference that it's almost been 8 years. I think the difference 8 years can make.
Yeah. Shoot.
But it really just goes to show that if you want something and you're persistent and you just don't stop, you'll eventually figure it out. They almost say that it's like, what is insanity, or success is doing something for an uncomfortably long period of time without seeing any results. Live the lifestyle that most people won't, so you can live the life that most people can't. That's what I try to tell myself, and that's as I drive home from a venue, from a gig, it's 2 hours away. I'm loading a grand piano in the back of my car. Those are just the kind of things that I tell myself when I do that. Those are the things, every little thing that can make you stand out from everybody else who wants to do this.
Yeah, and the 8 years is a very long time, and I remember. I mean, I've recently closed a chapter in my life, very recently, like 3 months ago, that lasted for 7 years, and all of that time that I could have taken to start this platform earlier, do whatever it is that I wanted to do and I was passionate about. I could only imagine where it's going to be, after that 8 years. But in order to get to that, you have to start. Whoever's watching right now, whatever it is that you want to do, it may be music, it may be a podcast. It may be owning your own business, whatever it is. You have to take the time to start. And in the very beginning, it's not going to be easy and it's not going to be pretty, because I know recently I looked at my first episode that I ever did for the Weekly Dose, and that's what kind of gave me the inspiration to go for you and look at find that video as well. But
you're not going to share it. You're only going to share my thing.
I'm only going to share yours.
I want to be your first episode. Come on.
You know what? I will show it for you guys. You're just going to have to give me a quick second to find it. But yes, like, guys, you got to start for whatever it is that you're doing, because how do you expect to get to point Z if you don't go through point A? And, you may get lucky or not. You know what? Scratch that, because we're not going to focus on luck. We're going to focus on the hard work that it takes to get to whatever it is that we want to do. And you also mentioned another word as well, was uncomfortable. And I feel like when everything's going easy and when you're doing the fun stuff and you're performing, of course it's going to be easy and it's going to be everything that you imagine it was going to be, but it's pushing through those hard parts where it's reaching out to the people. It's practicing your craft on a day-to-day basis, whether yours is scales or mine is speaking or mine is reaching out to all these people. It's when the going is tough and it's not easy that, that's where you really have to put yourself, and that's where you're going to see the progress as well.
And you know what? I'll say something one thing that I always tell myself is when I had started, in that last video, I could barely play the piano. For years, I was doing gigs where I was singing along to backing tracks. And one thing that I like to how I eventually learned how to play the piano was I put myself in a position where I had no choice but to learn it. I joined a house band at a dueling piano bar in Center City, Philadelphia. And I played there for 2 years, 8 hours a night, 4 nights a week. So there was the kind of thing that you either sink or swim in that case, because there's a bar full of people and they're dancing, and you better keep the party going. So the song you pick better be good. You better know how to play it properly. You better know how to sing it properly. You better be able to conduct the band and control the crowd. And those are all different things that, I only learned because I physically put myself in a position where, okay, I have to learn this. So for those of you just starting out with something, if you want to do something, maybe take on an obligation, maybe offer to help. Say you want to be a photographer, hire a client and start taking pictures. Put yourself in a position where you don't have a choice but to take those pictures and learn how to get better, because over time you just slowly, it's like a crawl, but eventually if you turn around, you'll be amazed at how far you've crawled.
Of course. And, I'm going to say it again. I'm going to reiterate the point is that, number one, you're not going to be perfect in the first time that you do it. And number two is, how do you need to go through that curve?
Or
you might be better
or
than
the
what you
30th
expect.
time you do it. You might not be perfect the 30th time.
Yeah. Yeah. And, I'm just, give me 1 second, because I found it. Lucky for you, I actually took the time to find it. So
yes.
Let's just we're gonna share it. I'm gonna have my fair share of the embarrassment too. And I'm sorry for you guys that I have to put you through this, but hey, if I gotta do it, you gotta do it too. So here it is. Here we go.
We all gotta do it.
We all gotta do it. And this is just us, showing at the very beginning. And look at this, 239 views. This was almost a year ago. And now we've just been going up and up and up. I just want to say one more thing. I don't want to compete with this. One more thing, too, is that the Weekly Dose of Dano platform has been growing. I mean, I think last month alone, we had close to 20,000 viewers and listeners. And I wouldn't be able to get to 20,000 if, if I didn't take the first few. Oh, thank you. Yeah, right. Let me get myself one of those.
That's
if
right.
I didn't start it, So
that's right.
Please, you're going to get to whatever results that you're going to get through, and it will work out for you. So here's it with sound. This is the first opening.
Hello, hola, bonjour, ni hao.
It's the hair again. It's the hair.
Oh.
A complete difference.
It's crazy. I agree with Lou. That new mic.
It's a little loud. A complete difference.
Did you do the editing too? Is this where you edited this video?
This one. Let me pause it. This one, no, I did not. I actually had somebody edit this. Lauren edit this. Everything. I only had a few pictures. I didn't have any videos or sound clips or anything like that. So let's skip forward to the actual. Look at that! Yeah, right. Get out of here. The hair difference, the background. I didn't have a mic. All right, let's just listen to a little bit of it.
Even the lighting.
Yes, his name is Clifton Allen. He's been with the Newcastle County Police Department for over 20 years, or about 20 years. And he's here today to tell us about his positive experiences that he's had with the department and his personal life and everything, and here to answer all the questions that you possibly.
It's exactly what you said, though. Right here in the corner, you can see the flicker.
You can see,
and the color, like you said, that's not good color.
Now, how does it feel for you looking back on those old things and seeing where you've come now? You more than a year later of doing this. Like, how does it feel for you?
It feels absolutely amazing. I mean, now I got the professional microphone. I got the nice camera. I'm trying to get to where you're at, but
you got the new MIDI clip. And I saw that in the beginning. The new
yeah. So it's just you'll look back on it, and in the very beginning, I want to thank my former self for actually having the confidence to go and try something new and to be brave and to be adventurous, because this is just the very beginning. Who knows where this can lead to? And the same thing for you with your music. You can have a song in a movie, or you can perform at the Super Bowl. And these are some of the things that, if you want to get to that, I'm going to tell you two things. Number one, if you want to get to that top spot, you have to start whatever it is. Stop pushing it off and stop giving yourself excuses. Like you said, just if you're the type of person that you just need to just jump right into it, just go do it and forget about anything else. Just focus on the growth that you're going to get. And then number two, what I wanted to share, damn, I forgot it because I was just so focused on that point. But
that was beautiful.
Yeah, well,
what you said that was really beautiful and really inspiring. And you have to almost believe, you have to take away the mental roadblocks, because you have to, like you said, you had took courage and bravery to have the confidence to put yourself out there like you did, and to be able to achieve those greatness things, you have to believe that they're possible. If you sit here and think that I can't do this, or I'm not good enough, or I'm not capable, then you'll never be able to achieve the things. It's a very low frequency to operate on. When you start to believe that anything is possible, you can open your eyes and be amazed at what's in front of you.
Yeah. And, I want to touch on that too, because it just came back to me, but it's because you started to speak. That's why it came back. So when you're in the very beginning, right, and you're starting to worry about, okay, well, how am I going to get a camera? How am I going to get a microphone? Or how am I going to get a guitar? Whatever it is, you start to feed into these low frequency and low vibration thoughts. And then what happens? Everything that is a reflection on the outside is what's going on in your inside. So if you're having low vibrational things happen to you, it's because you're having low vibrational thoughts. But in order to combat that, and this is the second thing that I wanted to say, is that you have to imagine yourself at the end point of where you want to be. So for me, I know that I'm going to be hosting the New Year's Rockin' Eve one day. And I imagine myself at that vibration. It's like, damn, I'm feeling the good feelings. I'm in front of everything. I'm in front of the entire United States or whatever it is on national TV. And then you start to have these like, damn, okay, well, it is possible. If I can see myself there, then your vibrations are being rising because you're having these great vibrations. And then everything that happens is going to get you one step closer to that goal. So thank you for saying that, because you brought me right on.
Dude, it's all about the law of attraction. If you start to put what you want out in the universe, it has a wonderful way of giving exactly what you want to you. You just have to have the courage to ask for it.
Of course, 100%.
The universe is fair, and it works in those kind of ways,
Yep. If it works for you, it can work for me. And that's really we talk about that every week on here. And look, it made its way back into here as well. So if you're watching this and you needed to hear that, number one, go study the law of attraction. And TJ, I want you to give us some of your Lou right here. More people need to hear that 1000%.
It's true, Lou.
So TJ, let's talk about, we only have a few minutes left, and try to make this answer a little bit quick, because there's one way that we wrap up the segment, and we wrap up the episode every single way in the same fashion. So can you talk a little bit about what you do in order to manifest some of the things that you want in your life?
One of the things that I do to manifest,
or maybe a few.
I'll tell you what, I'm the kind of person that when I get something in my head, I can't not think about it. I'll give you an example. So we had talked earlier on in the show about the microphones. I had gotten the Shure SM7. One thing when it comes to recording vocals, there's a microphone called the Neumann U87. It's like the industry standard. Everyone from Kanye to Travis Scott to Frank Sinatra have recorded on this microphone. And, I spent so much time thinking I'll never be able to get one of those microphones. They're too expensive. What do I have the need for them? They're only for legitimate studios. And then until recently, I had the thought, you know what? I'm going to, instead of thinking I can't get that, I think, what do I have to do to get that? What behaviors can I enact right now to make that happen? And I had the thought in my head and I couldn't get it out. And I'm really happy to show my light crashed, but my microphone did not. I have one of those microphones with me today. And it was my very first. Thank you.
Yeah, that's a big deal. One of the things while you're fixing your light is I want people to understand, you don't have to start out with the fanciest stuff. As long as you have a microphone. I started out with a little Rode mic about this big, so just stop convincing yourself, hey, I don't have the best stuff. Just get started. That's the best thing. So
that also goes to show that it takes years to accumulate things, but everything builds on top of each other. It's like a snowball. You buy one nice piece of equipment here, next month you buy another nice piece of equipment, and then you turn around and 2 years later you have a gorgeous space with tools you've only dreamed of having.
Yeah, 100%. So all right, so here we are. We got to wrap up the show. We only have about a minute left. But let's do it right now. So while you're speaking, I'm going to be putting your connectors on. If you want to connect with TJ, here's some of the ways that you can connect with him. But TJ, man, if there's somebody right now, especially during Suicide Prevention Month, let's say they're in their deepest, darkest times, what advice do you have for them in order to get out of that position and into the light?
I would say that it's very tough. Suicide is something personal to me. I had a friend commit suicide when I was in high school. One thing that I think that is that suicide is a permanent solution to problems that are for the most part temporary. And it may feel like there's no one out there who can help you, but there's always somebody out there you can talk to, and there's always somebody who cares about you, and that you might hurt, but you're not alone, and there are resources out there that can help you go if you are someone who is struggling.
Definitely. So thank you so much. If you guys want to reach out to TJ, just put his connectors on there, but I'm going to put it again, tjyoungmusic.com, and I'm not TJ Young as well. Thank you so much for coming on, for sharing that song, for sharing your stories, and just being so open and transparent and wanting to help everybody out. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you for having me. Congratulations to you for building this beautiful platform. I can't wait to see where it goes.
And I can't. We're going to be on the red carpet together one day.
That's right. That's right.
I'm calling it right now. We're manifesting it.
You're going to introduce me. That's how it's going to go.
There we go. I love it. So come back next week. We're going to have Ricky Starr. If you guys are familiar with him, this is going to be a wrestling episode for next week. We're going to have so much fun. And I hope you guys have a wonderful, great weekend. Go out there, try some new stuff. Don't be afraid, and really just follow whatever your heart is telling you. So I hope you guys have a great weekend, and I'll see you next week for another episode of Weekly Dose of Dano TV. Peace.
Peace.